Content over everything.
The first thing he said was, this guy was saying, Prophet Muhammad, what was he saying about Prophet Muhammad? 20 wives, alright. And then you said, oh, in Africa, look at all the men in Africa. They take 20 wives and they fuck 20 women and blah, 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 and blah, blah, blah. And I'm listening as an African, and I'm like, one, you tarnished you tarnished the whole continent. It's not even a race, because there's different races in Africa. The whole continent worth of people, yeah? You tarnished them. Yeah, with this whole, they're polygamous and blah, 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 yeah? So then when I said to him, okay, where are you from? He said he's from Yemen. Because he said, I said, I'm in Lebanon. I said, in Lebanon, does the practice of marrying young women simply for sex and then divorcing them when you're done with them happen on multiple occasions? Yeah, you know, maybe so. He was like, yeah, you know. So what I'm saying is, what's that got to do with the religious debate that we're having? You're getting close to like slandering a whole race, a whole nation of people. Just because one person has been questioned and his behaviour and what he was saying was factual. It's just how he was saying it.
You know what, something what's really important, what a lot of people don't know though, is like in regards to getting like really aggressive. The Prophet Muhammad, peace be upon him, people insulted him left, right and centre and he never done nothing.
Yeah.
Like he never done nothing. So when all these, one of these people are all, when they all kick off because of this or that happening, they're wrong.
Yeah, because you
these
shouldn't
Muslims
respond like that.
These countries where they're going over the thing that happened in, where was it? Hebdo or
Charlie Hebdo and that.
All that, and they're kicking off.
False flag attack.
Oh, that was a false flag attack, yeah, definitely. But the ones that kicked off because of things,
yeah.
You don't do that. You don't do that. You can speak up, you can be firm, but you don't.
You have to kick off and get really.
The funny thing is, it doesn't take very long for us to identify a common enemy.
Yeah.
But we don't want to. No one wants to address that. There's a common enemy because I just said there's someone that literally wants to take all of our rights. If you're gay, if you're Muslim, if you're Sikh, if you're whatever, all of your rights are going to get taken away. Yeah, and the same, and when the more you push for your right for religious, keep it around the waist. The more you, it's like a playground in there, man. But the more you push for your rights and that, and you're offended by someone else's rights, then the more we all get stripped. I feel like we just need to get back to a time where we're not so sensitive. Yeah, we're not so sensitive.
You know why people are sensitive?
And that's it.
It's because of the hate. Like about 10, 15 years ago, Little Britain. Do you remember what that show, Little Britain? That was the most offensive. No, but here's the thing. They ting tong from two ting. It was racist shit, homophobic, transphobic. The reason people didn't get offended is because there was never any hate. There wasn't
transphobic or homophobic.
Oh, what? I'm a lady. That was proper transphobic.
What that was doing is desensitizing the people to see men just as women.
No. Let me
explain. So you gotta understand what the paradigm is.
No, you didn't let me finish.
But I'm saying to you, you just said that Little Britain is they're written by gay writers. Yeah, they're gay writers. The Jokers. They're gay. David Williams is a gay man parading like he's like a straight man. He's a gay man. So what I'm saying is, you can finish, but bruv, don't give me false information. Don't say Little Britain is something that was anti-homo or anti-this when it's not. It was pro. Because what it did is desensitize people to everything.
Okay, so Caitlyn Jenner, right? Now, we never heard about anything about transphobia or you can't intentionally misgender a woman until Caitlyn Jenner came out and people refused to accept her as a woman. And I'm thinking, why couldn't we just accept her?
That's not right. That's not correct. What you're saying, bro.
No, it is. A lot of people rejected Caitlyn Jenner as a woman.
Depends how old you are. Depends how old you are. They knew, bro.
Yeah, man.
They made everything.
You know what it is? What it is? You in a way you're right because it's current agenda. That's all it is. It's just current agenda.
And in my experiences, I grew up in London when I was 12 years old. I wasn't offended by the N-word. I wasn't offended by any racist jokes because I was never hated for the colour of my skin. I lived in Kent for 8 years and a very, no offence, very white majority country, a lot of ignorant people, and people thought it was okay to make me feel ashamed of the colour of my skin. And that's why sometimes I get very racially
defensive. What London did you grow
up in? I grew up in Acton.
I missed out, mate.
Yeah.
Because I grew up in Peckham and I was in a black majority neighbourhood and I still felt persecuted for the colour of my skin and I was born here.
Yeah,
I mean, so like it's good to hear somebody with a different perspective from you that didn't experience that in London, and everyone has different experiences.
But when we can criticise with each other and respect each other, I've criticised the Prophet. I've said, hey, you know what? Some of the things he did probably not the greatest thing, but I never hated him. I was never like, because for his time and Islam, and you could disagree, was actually very progressive in terms of religious tolerance.
And listening to
right?
people, Muslims, when they tell you, no, it's this and it's not that.
that whole
But it's
thing.
always
He
messed up.
didn't
Ali
wanna
Dawah.
he didn't no, not Ali Dawah, the other guy, man. I don't know where he's gone. How this whole conversation started. I asked him a simple question. I asked him, I said to him, if you're so strong in your faith, what causes you to insult other people's religious figures?
Who did that? A
off on
Muslim
one.
did that.
Huh? No, this other guy that's
Christian
talking.
guy.
I was going to
That's
say,
how the whole
because for us,
conversation
it
started.
says in the
It's
Quran,
just wrong.
do not,
Just to
do not
taunt
insult
someone
their
that
God.
disrespectfully.
We're not allowed to do
The
that.
guy never answered my question.
You're not allowed to
and
do
then
it.
the brother over there, wherever he's gone, he kicked off and he just did the same
the
thing.
Somalian guy?
No, there's another guy. This is how the whole thing started.
I feel like you should. I feel like you should.
So it's just-
I feel like the thing about getting offended more highlights a weakness, a chink in your armor.
your own, yeah.
Yeah, that's what it really does. Yeah.
But you should
Content
question
over everything.
someone.
The guy behind content over everything. He taught me about that because he was basically saying that when he grew up, he realised that when he was having banter with his mates, the game was whoever could push whoever's button to show that they lost control. So do you know what I mean? So it's keep pushing each other until one person snaps. Then when you snap, everyone's like, we got you, you snapped. And I think we should play that game in
But you
Speaker's
should be able to
Corner.
question it. You should be able to question that.
Me first.
It's like almost like coming in, I completely snapped with what she said, and that was wrong. I should have just
Heightened
like
emotions.
sod it. So I didn't have said sod it. And I'm sorry.
One thing we
No,
all
but
agree on.
shouldn't have got angry. You know what? Sometimes you just get so full of seeing everybody just attacking us all, and I shouldn't have done it. It's not an excuse. It's not an
Everybody
excuse.
in their own personal group feels
apologize.
attacked.
to apologise to me. I think it's my face. I'm not too sure.
No, it's just what's right. You have to apologise if you're wrong.
That's what I'm
and
worried
really,
about.
it's
And
not-
that's about this whole.
But I'd rather people insulting each other. Yeah, I'd rather people insulting each other than the insult police coming over and telling me what I've done is illegal. I'd rather you insult me, I insult you, and it's out of order. Oh my God, did you hear what he said? Blah blah. Than someone coming in, intervening, and saying, right, you're nicked.
You know why? Because it's
Like
come
what?
back, come back to
Go
another
away, leave us alone,
it's
we
come
can
back to
deal with
another
it. Do you know what I mean?
conversation.
We can handle it.
That's how things like racism, all these kind of things become hidden. You understand? Whereas, because if everybody feels like they're going to be attacked
for
for
saying
what
their
they
views,
believe,
then it goes underground.
Yeah. And when it goes underground,
It gets worse.
Yeah, that means people like you and me can't progress in society.
But that's the thing, though.
what
The
stops
fact
us.
that we have progress is the fact that we've learned the difference between legitimate criticism of one's actions, right, and absolute hatred and disgusting opinions that are like race realism.
Who's learnt the difference? Who's learnt the? Because
I've learnt the difference.
All of that, well, I ain't. That's all subjective, bruv. That's all subjective. I've had my brethren's videos have been taken down because one person, like for instance Tan, has made some statements. Now, in the interest of us all like learning about humanity, how each other think and blah blah blah, leave it up. We want to see, but it gets taken down for hate speech.
You should question.
Like, do you know what I mean?
You know,
Like,
Tan's
bro,
another
your
level,
rights
though.
are get,
Tan's
bro.
another
At some,
level. I don't
he
think
is,
that's
he is,
right.
he is. But so what? What can he? What's he doing?
It's no different than you've got people like whoever you want to say, like maybe there's an Adam Chowdhury or whatever, sitting there spouting hate about British society. That's no difference. He could cause a problem in society with his speech.
I don't think so.
Yeah,
I don't
I
think
do.
so. I think well
I
then I think then that means that
Because
there's
not
a.
everybody's gonna be relaxed. Not
I
everybody's
agree.
gonna be like.
But I think that means there's an issue with society. I think this is what we're covering up the fact. Yeah, society has an issue. Yeah, of being too influenced, too easily influenced. Society has an issue where people at home don't have their own foundation, moral compass, or nothing. So they can turn on YouTube and actually be swayed. Because really and truly, where I grew up, someone like that Tan's come out. We go like around London, go to certain communities that have been affected by knife and gun crime and that, and try and reach out to the community. So when we've gone to certain communities, at the meet-up spot, guess who I've seen there? Tan's there.
Is this the guy from Malaysia?
But what happens to Tan though? What happens to Tan when he comes out with us? He just gets ignored. No, you're right, Tan? Yeah. Ignored. It ain't gonna be some big hoo-ha, oh my God, Tan was there, rare. But I think other people, they would give him that energy. And that's how he feeds, that's how we know who Tan is. If everyone ignored him...
You don't take him seriously,
Can I say something about Tan? I saw that video and he was just swearing. He was just swearing at Muslims. He was saying,
rude, yeah,
and you know what I mean? If he wanted to criticise Islam, then do that. But he wasn't criticising. He was just spouting abuse.
So what?
Like, would you allow some like racist ethno-nationalist to come in and spout abuse at you?
Come in where?
Like, will you punch him in the
come in
here
where?
in Speaker's Corner?
Yeah, I would.
Some KKK.
Yeah, I would.
Talking about.
I would.
These people, they think like.
I've been called nigger. I've been called what's it? Aswad. Yeah. Blacks this. Listen. I've been called everything under the sun. Here. Yeah. And what? What do you think?
Do you want that to be normalised?
It is normal.
No, but here's what I'm saying.
It is normal.
Racism isn't normal.
Bro.
Then you're living in a lie.
With respect, racism is
Brother. No, I hear what you're saying. I hear what you're saying, yeah? I hear what you're saying, yeah?
hate me for what I do, not for what I am.
What he's saying is racism isn't normal, yeah? And he's right. Yeah, well, when you say normal, it's not right. But it is normal.
But it's become normal, yeah.
Like,
It is the norm. Racist views is the norm.
prehistoric norm. It's like how shitting in a forest.
No.
We have toilets now. We don't have to shit in forests.
No. Racism still exists.
You look at
Yeah,
what
it
happened
exists,
last
but we can
weekend
take away,
with
like, if we
Ali
take away the
Dawah
hatred
and
and
Mohammed
extra.
Hijab,
You look, one
right?
voice.
Ali Dawah and Mohammed Hijab, what happened the other weekend
Yeah.
with that freedom of speech rally?
Yeah. When they went down there to chase down.
Oh, they wanted blood, man.
Yeah.
I mean, over something so tiny. What, he had a mouth guard in? They want his blood.
He did it. He had the mouth guard like after
He
he
always
got attacked.
hit. But the thing is, what I'm saying is, they wanted blood. From what? From Tommy Robinson's speech, hate speech.
No.
Yes.
Now, can I just say, yeah? Before the birth of Tommy Robinson, yeah, you had people that were willing to attack another person for their differences. So let's not say that this is Tommy Robinson's hate speech. It's inside of man, and it's been tapped into by manipulators. Now, what it is there's certain things that will allow us to get away from that, yeah. But there's certain things in this world that would allow us to get away from being so vulnerable to people like Tommy Robinson. But that would take a lot of work, and that would mean probably switching off your Wi-Fi, switching off your internet, and switching off your TV. Yeah.
Have you heard
It would
about
it would take you getting out into the street,
interacting with people.
yeah. It would take you getting on planes and going
meeting
places.
people?
Yeah, meeting people.
Have
It would take you learning firsthand about the world rather than looking through a screen and letting the screen
meet
dictate
people,
to you
exactly.
what's going on. That's a huge. Remember, propaganda is a tool.
Yeah.
So if they say that we spoke about Charlie Hebdo,
Yeah.
that's propaganda.
Right.
Whether it happened, whether it's not, false flag or not,
Propaganda.
that is enough to fuel somebody to say, rah, these fucking Muslims are taking a piss. Same with, do you know what I mean? Same with if I watch something about Martin Selner and the Europeans that he's got out in Europe, marching and doing their training and a thing and talking about they want to do this and that to me makes me feel like, ooh, that's a naughty group, you need to watch them. Yeah? But that might not be what's happening in all of Europe. But if you only keep looking at the world through these paradigms, you get easily influences. Before that, it was
What
books.
about the millions that are being, it's documented that there's millions being spent on anti-Muslim propaganda.
Probably, yeah. There's
It's
millions being
yes,
spent
it's documented.
on everything though.
The-
In anything that keeps
Like
us
the no-go
divided.
zones. It was a lie.
Oh my God, it's a joke,
It was a
man.
lie, and it's
an
in
absolute
Kent.
joke.
They think that shit is real.
What's
They
real?
think
What's that?
In Kent, they think that there are no-go zones all
so
over London.
What do you mean by no-go zones?
As in, there are places that
You
non-Muslims
can't come
aren't
in,
allowed
you
to go
can't
into.
walk
They
there,
think this
such
is
a
real,
load
and this
of
is what I'm talking
nonsense.
about. Like,
Muslims
about they
don't-
There's
Muslims don't
probably got to be
care
somewhere that non-Muslims aren't welcome.
there are none. People have looked. They don't exist.
There
So should
isn't.
people be censored?
Yeah.
So should people be censored? So should people be censored?
For spoken
Because
lies.
here's it, so people should be censored. So that means if
I
they can
think
take
if
his
someone's
freedom of speech, that
lying,
comes out to
I think if
reason.
someone's lying, there should be accountability.
No,
What is it?
no, I don't.
Yeah.
No, I don't. Because if
Okay.
that's the case, let's go to the top liars. Yeah.
Oh, well,
let's
yeah.
start at them. Not the little man. Not Tommy Robinson or none of them.
Let's start
Whatever.
small first. We're
No.
gonna get-
Start big. Because if you start big, then you bring down the network. We start small and we keep bothering with the people
You
at
know,
small.
censoring
At
already
the small
goes on,
level.
innit?
You see like the war on drugs. Let's have a war on drugs. War on drugs. So what do? Anybody seen with a spliff? Anybody seen? We're gonna nick them. Yeah. So what they do is they go around and they nick little individuals. They get caught smoking around the corner, and someone that sold a little drawer to someone in his area. Oh, you're making £500 a week. You're a fucking drug dealer. Blah blah blah. Nick him. That's the war on drugs. Meanwhile, how is all these kilos of weed coming over?
Coming
How is
in,
the
yeah.
kilos of cocaine coming over? Where's all the heroin coming from? Who's producing? Who is manufacturing the guns? Who's manufacturing guns? What area? Show me what estate that they're manufacturing guns. The last time I heard about people manufacturing guns, the little converted air pistols, was a bag of white men up in Yorkshire somewhere. Yeah, but it's not these young black boys that are killing themselves. I'm not hearing about too many Yorkshire men shooting each other in the face. It does happen. Don't hear about it too much though. Do you know what I mean? Yeah. So what I'm saying is, if we start small, we stay small. Let's go big.
How?
Let's go big.
How?
Well, we have to have an open conversation, and I feel like this is where we start looking at society and the issue with society where we are disempowered. So we
I feel
are
that.
essentially
I'm
sheep
well on that one,
that
yeah,
are
definitely.
begging to be herded, and that's. I don't think that's something that you can change overnight. but definitely we need to regain
People
power
are
ourselves.
waking up though. People are waking up.
They are,
A
maybe
lot
they
of
are.
people, you get the people in the outskirts, like, I mean, like you say, in rural areas are still a little bit sleepy.
Yeah.
A lot of your average Brit,
Yeah.
like, because I'm English, my family, a lot of my family are very, like, closed up. They're not interested. Don't want to talk about
They
anything
just
too
do their
deep.
thing and just keep it quiet.
Yes.
And they
Don't talk
say
about
the
anything
silent majority are the ones that actually keep the system running. It's the ones that just get on with things.
Yeah.
But that's what they train us to do in school, be worker bees.
Yeah.
How much,
Shit.
like literally,
I don't need no
did you
education,
find out about
that's it.
taxes in school? Did you find out about, like, what did you find out about being self-employed in school?
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
They don't teach you anything that's essentially necessary, but they compound you with Henry VIII. And the funny thing about it is, all the history and stuff that they give us, even down to nowadays, it's all violence.
We don't
They
have.
tell
I
us,
don't even know. We don't have a great
they tell us,
history, Britain,
don't
English.
solve your problems
Great
with violence,
history,
yeah?
yeah.
And then your boss, the boss of the
No, we
corporation
don't.
of
We
Britain,
don't have a great
yeah?
history, England.
Theresa May
We
gets
did
in
a
front
lot
of a
bad
camera
talk around the world.
and says,
we pillaged and
we are
raped
bombing
the land
Syria.
around the world. I wouldn't
And
say that's a great history.
subconsciously, that's saying
And I can say
we
that
are
as an
sorting
English
another
person.
problem with
I'm not
violence.
a foreigner, so
It's the truth. It's all violence. Yeah, I keep saying the same point.
Americans the same.
If you went and watched
They've done
Avengers,
nothing good.
if you went and watched Avengers or Black Panther or whatever, you sat down and sat through an hour and a half of violence. You took your kids to violence. We was brought up on Tom and Jerry and all this stuff. Violence. The police come in and they want to sort out a crowd. The image is them with truncheons. Violence. No matter what is said, subconsciously. One second, sister, because you're on the microphone. Yeah. Subconsciously, no matter what is said, we sort our conflicts with violence. But then when they're doing it on the street, they are demonized for it. So what is going on? We're not living in tune with nature anymore at all. Yeah, at all. And because we're not living in tune with nature, what we're doing is unnatural, and this is where all the problems are coming from. But we're not going to look at it because we're busy trying to get to Mars or whatever bullshit they're feeding us and all this other stuff. And you know, we've got all these mini computers.
What's happening on
and
EastEnders this week? Ooh. What's happening on EastEnders this week?
I watch TV.
No, but that's what it is, though, isn't it? EastEnders, Coronation
but you know what? These have taken over TV, so we don't need to watch TV no more.
Yeah.
I'm addicted to my phone.
Yeah, everybody's got their phone.
You know, I'm addicted to my phone. I pick up my phone and I'm like, what did you pick it up for? Put it back in your pocket. 5 minutes later, I ain't my phone in my hand. Like, I can't help it. Like, it's like, it's mad. People sleeping with their phones under their beds and stuff. We haven't even researched properly what these phones do to us. On the packaging, when you buy an iPhone, read the instructions on it. It tells you to keep it 1.7 meters away from your body.
Do you know what? When everybody's focused on one thing,
And you're sleeping with it next to your bed.
What's your name?
Jedi.
Jedi.
Yeah.
Nice name. Whenever.
What'd she say like that?
Jedi.
Jedi. I thought he was going to be like, we meet again. Jediah.
Oh, Jediah. Sorry, I thought.
What they do is they focus people on a boogeyman. That's what they do, and then you're not focused on what they're doing.
Of course.
And I say this so many times on Facebook and this and that. I said, look for the real enemy. Not
Who do you think
leave
the real enemy
Muslims.
is?
Leave the Muslims in Islam. It's not your enemy, man.
But do you feel like some Muslims in Islam
feel like
have been programmed just like those ones?
Oh, I think definitely it's possible.
So there's programming on both sides.
I believe there's programming.
Because what I've seen is I've seen a bad representation of Islam. Yeah, I'm not picking on Islam just because you mentioned it. A bad representation of Islam to the point where when I first came to the park, I was saying to everybody, I don't know what you're talking about. I've grown up with Muslims.
Yeah, exactly.
I know Muslims. Blah blah blah. They're not like that. That's not the Muslim experience I've had.
Yeah.
But when I've come to the park, you can see. Okay, all right. Oh man, you're letting yourself down. I've had to pull man to the side and say, bro, I don't even really agree with you, but you're letting your team down, bro. Like, what? You're giving people ammunition. Do you know what I mean? And it's a small individual, but they will get boosted up. The algorithm on a video like that will just flip, and then that will be like viral.
But that's like
you know what I mean?
in regards to the Muslim woman.
Yeah, and that's the face.
Jedi, in regards to the Muslim woman, whenever I see any kind of a program, any kind of a documentary, whatever, you'll either see a Muslim woman fully covered from head to foot, or not wearing a hijab at all. You rarely see someone dressed in between.
In between, yeah.
Which is basically the middle kind of.
But I tell you what the problem is with this is. The problem is why do we look at the Tell Live Vision?
Yeah, Tell Live Vision.
Why do we look at the Tell Live Vision for representation?
Yeah,
this is why I said society is wrong, because we look at. we're looking at these screens. We're attracted to these things, and this is the thing. We need to change that.
It's so true.
And another thing is, you see, conflict is so enticing because you don't want to miss it. Like and that's the thing. That's inbred in us. As children, there was a fight. You telling me there was a fight in that playground? You didn't go running over there?
Yeah, of
course you did.
We're
attracted to violence.
That's most television programs.
We're being asked. Look, we live on top of each other like that, and next to each other like that. Yeah, I don't like you. I'm going up the stairs to my yard to be with my family. I've got to see you. You're right. Get me? I'm checking for my letters. Thinking, where's my fucking letter? They better not touch my mail. Like these traumas in our head, making us live so close to each other, and they want, bro. We're supposed to. We are supposed to be like, okay, this is our bit of land, yeah? Right. We're here, our little tribe. Right. Anyone that comes over here, we're protecting our interests. That's inbuilt in us. Right. But we're not allowed to express it in a healthy way because we are in a natural society and we keep trying to make sense out of things. We ain't gonna make sense out of it because we're not living how we should be. And that's all of us. Trust me, man. Unless we go to the grass, kick off our socks here, and do like that with our toes in the grass, I bet you feel so much better.
Though, for me,
I'm telling you.
I'd like to say, for the record, Muslims do not want to kill every non-Muslim. And
you can't speak for all Muslims.
Let me say something, please. Muslims do not want to kill every non-Muslim. My book does not tell me to do that, okay? And if we did, we'd be running around killing everybody. I mean, I've got family who are non-Muslim. So by rights, if that's what I'm commanded to do, then I've got, come on, it's silly. Think, use your brain. Just like every country has got their military laws and rules, so does Islam have military laws and rules. That's all it is. It's talking about when you're in battle, when you're fighting someone, when they come to fight you. That's all. That's all it's talking about is battle. Not someone in the street you just meet or whatever. And that's where they're pushing that, and they're making people think that we don't like anybody.
But having said that, I've just looked at a man who. All I'm saying is this, yeah. I understand where you're coming from. Unfortunately, you don't speak for all of Islam. I don't speak for all people from Africa.
No, the 1 minute, Jedi. No, that's not right.
No, I'm not having a go at you.
There's a small minority that may say else. I don't even know.
Cool, but we can't ignore they don't exist.
Well,
because
but even then, are they running around?
But sis, that minority is what's used. One second.
No, let me finish, please.
Yeah, but I just want to
finish my
It's just a quick point. It's just a quick point. That minority is what is used to convince others.
Yes, I agree with you.
That's what I'm saying.
I agree with you. But the thing is like, you don't see all these people that are talking about this small minority of Muslims that are actually propagating this kind of message. You don't see this small minority of people going mental about, guys that are, I can say that about all men. Like, you're a rapist, man.
But people do say that.
You're a rapist.
But feminism is real.
You're a rapist.
Feminism is real.
You're a rapist and you're a rapist and you're
I just saw a post from a woman that said,
rapist.
oh my God,
please,
men are predators.
Let me please make my point. Please, Jedi. All these men standing here are rapists. Why? Because some of you rape. So you are all rapists. I mean, this is your mentality you're using. A small amount of Muslims.
No.
Maybe a bit.
Some people are. Some people do use that.
Anyway, go on.
No,
some people do use that, and I agree with you. But
it's true.
But what I'm saying is that stereotype is compounded around the world. Stereotypes are compounded around the world.
It's pushed by an agenda.
Exactly.
To make people hate. Why do they want people to hate Islam and Muslims? Why? Look at why they want you to hate us. Why? What is it that they're trying to stop you from?
When everybody hates one another, your focus is away from them.
Yeah, because I think personally,
they're afraid as well.
I think their main thing with Islam and black people, dark-skinned people, melanated people, people from the like Asia and all these other continents, they've got many things that destabilize these people. Many things. If you go to Africa, forget Africa, let's leave Africa. Let's go India. Yeah?
Okay.
Or let's go Polynesia. Okay. Yeah? Let's go to Papua New Guinea.
Okay.
In Papua New Guinea, two men from rivaling tribes don't even chat, and it's beef.
Right.
They will spear you to death. Yeah. Why is that? It's ingrained in us, yeah, to have this kind of tribalism, yeah, to a natural level because we're animals. We are animals. We know we're all wearing fancy clothes and got technology, and we think.
I'm not an animal. You
all right, I know,
you're an
cool.
animal,
You
but
feel
I'm
you're not an animal,
God didn't tell me I was an animal.
No,
so,
cool. But that's the thing. The only thing.
I'm not an evolutionist. So.
No, I don't mean it like that. You're an animal. As in, you bleed. You're made of flesh, bone, you have tissue,
Yep.
yeah, you've got reproductive organs, you feed,
I'm a human being.
you breathe, you're a human being, but you've got all the capacity of an animal. A plant doesn't have the same things as you. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah,
It doesn't have the
obviously,
same
yeah.
things as you. As an animal, so you can differentiate yourself from an animal as much as you want. And I think this may be one of our issues, yeah? Because we think we're so supreme over these animals, yeah? The
Yeah.
animals are living their damn lives.
Actually,
the
yeah.
animals are not
No,
going.
we don't do that.
1 second.
Exactly.
The animals
We
are not
shouldn't
going
pull
over
people.
to
Yeah,
another
exactly.
continent.
I
and
agree with you.
Lions over here
I
are not
agree with
bombing
you.
lions over there.
I
And
agree with
African elephants not going, oh, the Indian elephant, we need, oh, there's a war on Indian elephants. Like, we do these weird things.
Yeah, I
We
agree with
create
you.
diseases.
I agree with you.
We create a lack of abundance so that we can control and monopolize on the
Yeah.
Earth's resources. No one else is doing that. So we think we're so much better than animals, but the animals every day show an example of how to live. We are away from nature.
Yeah.
And because we are away from nature, yeah, we're in the state we are now. And we're wondering what's going on. We should be living. So we call that kind of living primitive. Yeah? We call policing our own communities, what do they phrase it? The law of the jungle. Yeah? Law of the jungle. Yeah? But these court systems that lie and rob us, yeah,
I've been
deal
watching some of
with
these
deal
shows,
with
oh
nothing
my
but
God.
deal with nothing but maritime law and
Terrible.
policies and statutes, yeah. Baffle us, spellbind us with legalese. This is what we say is civilization.
Yeah.
When they're just robbing us constantly.
Yeah.
You have to register your child as property.
Yeah,
Yeah?
yeah.
You have to. Otherwise you're going to jail.
Capital letters.
Yeah? In Germany,
In
in
capital
Germany,
letters.
you
All
cannot
property.
homeschool your child.
Wow.
You're not allowed to. You are not allowed to
Yeah,
teach
but
your
look
own
at
child.
America. It's mandatory
on.
now, isn't it? Vaccines, all these what?
See,
30 leaking
If you don't want to vaccinate your youth, they're going to tell you that it's neglect and they get social services involved. Yeah. They took my mate's child from him because
Really?
he didn't want to register his child. Yeah.
Oh, wow.
And he tried, and I said, listen, that's a war you're not going to win, you know. And he tried and he lost his youth.
Wow.
You lost your child.
Oh my
Do you know what I
God.
mean? So when we're dealing with that kind of world,
If you
yeah,
don't want to give your kid,
subconsciously.
if you don't want to give your kid chemo, what happens?
Look, they
Chemo.
let that little boy die the other day. That court case has been going on with that little boy that they were saying was too ill and blah blah blah, and they just wanted to take the child to I think Turkey to get some Italy, yeah, to get some.
I mean, that's wrong, man. I'm like, chemo is like.
So what rights do you have?
No.
If you carry a child for
Keep it
9
away
months,
from me, man. I
you
don't want
choose a
nothing to do with
partner.
chemo.
You choose a partner. You marry a child for 9. You choose a partner, and then for 9 months you carry the child. You give birth to the child. You give it all your love, blah blah,
Yeah.
blah, and they tell you what you have to and can and can't put inside
Yeah.
of your child.
Yeah.
How
They
you
own
raise
your
your child,
child.
blah blah. So where's the freedom?
Yeah.
That's subconsciously.
Freedom
Yeah?
and illusion.
We're dealing with these mini encroachments on our humanity
But-
every day,
but,
and that's
Jedi,
gonna send you mad.
Muslims and Islam are the problem. That's what I'm
No,
saying.
no, not just Muslims and
No,
Islam.
but that's what I'm saying. They push that.
But
so everybody's thinking.
in Islamic countries, what is the problem? The West. Yeah, the West is the fucking problem. The West.
Some of them. No, when
come
they say
on.
the West,
Let's be real.
Be fair. When they say the West, they're talking about the establishment, not necessarily people.
Either way, there's people in Saudi Arabia
Yeah.
and there's people in Barnsley, yeah, that are not being respected. They're not being loved. They're not being looked after or cared for by the authorities, by their governments, yeah, and their rights are being stripped away from them in both countries on both sides of the
Yeah, I
land. And they're
agree-
looking
I
at each other
agree
like
with
they're the
you.
enemy, and
I
they're not
agree
looking
with
at the one
you.
that sits up there with
I
their
agree
thumb
with
on
you.
your back,
I agree
yeah,
with you. Yeah,
making you
yeah,
work
I
for all these
agree.
taxes while they sit on
Yeah,
golden palaces
definitely.
and spend 40 million on a wedding that no one
I
cares
hate
about.
that
Are we
so
invited?
much.
Are we invited?
No.
40 million,
No,
are we
no.
invited? They're the biggest,
country.
biggest scoundrels. And you're going to say, oh, benefit cheat. Are you mad? Benefit cheat. Calling people, because he's getting his little £200 a week more than you. And you're like, taxpayers' money. Bro, they're getting married for 40 million.
I know, it's wrong, isn't
What's
it?
in the cake? I want to know what's in the cake. What's in the
No,
cake?
it's wrong. It is wrong. It's all wrong. All messed up.
Harry's older brother.
William.
So his wedding was 34 million.
34.
34 million. 32 was on security.
32 was on security.
Because they got jets flying around and that.
Bro, if you're in that much danger, then maybe just don't go out, bro. Stay in your little palace, you know what I mean, and chill out. 32 million worth of security, that's a lot of security.
Who's that
And then
president,
you got Gaddafi that rides around in an open top limousine waving and high-fiving the people in his country.
Yeah, you had that
free
president
electric,
of Nicaragua.
free education, free education anywhere in the world. If Libya don't do the course that you want, you can go anywhere in the world and get a free education. If you get married, you and your family get what is it, 40,000 or 60,000, just start up money, blah blah blah. And this is the dictator.
No IMF there as well.
Come on, man. How much does the average English school university leave education? How much debt does he leave with? 50 grand.
Do we have any natural
They said
resources?
nowadays it's impossible for those that are leaving university to ever get out of there.
Because they have petrol. Gaddafi has petrol. Gaddafi has petrol.
Have petrol, so this is what they want.
That reason he gives.
No,
But
not
a
like
poor
that.
country, what they can give.
Yeah.
It's like being a slave.
As soon as you see a country no IMF there, we don't think it is established. But what's the subject?
Yeah.
What's the same with the
There's no subject. We're just.
Anyway,
Yeah.
but I want to speak about one subject in Sudan. There is one woman, she get one girl, she get forced marriage, 16 years old, and her husband robbed her with her relative, and she killed him. And they want now judge her, sorry my English not, judge her for
As an adult.
die. It's forced marriage in some countries.
But she killed somebody. She was forced to marry someone.
Yeah.
She
and
killed the husband.
He killed because he want to rob her.
He wants to rape her.
Yeah, it's allowed in the law.
Oh,
That is
okay.
not about the West.
Yeah,
It's about some traditional
See you later.
communicate with religion.
See you later. Nice
Yeah.
talking to you.
It's
Nice
also,
one.
it's also
Yeah. Yeah, okay, cool, yeah.
about women
Well, you're
rights.
calm in that, yeah?
It's about women's rights.
Yeah, women's rights.
Yeah.
Speak to them about women's rights. That's the microphone there. and that's the camera.
But my English
go
not
for it.
perfect.
Just go
my
for it, man.
English. Give me one subject about
Women's
women.
rights.
The next big subject.
Women's rights. Women's rights.
Big subject, women's rights.
Sorry, 1 second. Hello?
No, not me. No, not me. No. I need some subject to speak about because this be long. Many subjects on no. Free for Noura. Free for Noura in Sudan. Freedom for Noura. That I want to speak on.
Content over everything. From your Benjamin.
Man, say it straight. Man, don't listen to BBC. Man, don't listen to I.
Yeah.
Hey, why you hating on me, Shamsi, fam? Come on, fam. Why you hating on me, fam?
What do you want to say?
Shamsi, go on. Why you hating on me?
What do you want to do? What's up?
Hey, one second. Let me get my light.
No, Shamsi, apologise.
Not yet.
You want to leave me until I do this.
Could you please, Raj, please.
No, it's just
No, I'm
Yeah.
continuing and I'm working.
I'll continue when you wait.